And who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
What's up? We got Gossip Girl, Season 2, Episode 2, Never Been Marcus. This episode starts off with Blair, after spending the night together, Dan and Serena wake up on the beach, not knowing what exactly is happening with their relationship yet. They agree to see each other once they get back to the city. Serena leaves. Meanwhile, Blair and Marcus are taking a bike ride to the restaurant for breakfast. Blair asks Marcus what he's planning to do, and he answers that he'll go wherever Blair does. Once at the restaurant, Blair tells him that she has to get back to the city. Because for school. He agrees to come along and mentions his parents. Blair announces that she would love to meet the Duke and Duchess. Marcus mysteriously says that they'll have to see. Blair quickly excuses herself to call Serena, who's on her way to Manhattan, and tells her things aren't working out with Marcus due to his instability about their future. While she's away talking, Chuck sneaks into the restaurant to sit down with Marcus. After she hangs up, Serena arrives at the Hampton Jitney bus stop to find Dan, also at the same bus stop. Without problems, and then distance themselves back at the restaurant, she re-enters to find Marcus and distance themselves. Back at the restaurant, Blair re-enters to find Marcus and Chuck exchanging phone numbers. Marcus explains to her that he and Chuck made plans to play squash later, and Blair asks to take Chuck aside for a moment and orders him to stop messing with Marcus. But Chuck argues that he likes Marcus. He likes Marcus too. And he knows that he doesn't have many friends. Chuck leaves the restaurant. And Blair tells Marcus that Chuck and Serena are leaving right away and asks if she can ride back to stay with him. He says yes. At the Archibald, Nate tells Anne that he's planning to head back to Manhattan that day, and she admits to him that the federal prosecutor took Howard's departure as an admission of guilt, and they want to take all the money for restitution. She confesses that she called her father and Nate's grandfather, William Vanderbilt, who was not very happy with her helping Howard leave town and cut her off as a result. Shocked, Nate informs her that he's supposed to be taking care of her, and she says he was supposed to be taking care of her, and she says shit. After seeing Catherine call him, he leaves the house. She leaves him a message saying they're going to have to be more careful when they get back to the city. He then takes a call from Marcus. Her stepson. Nate. Catherine and Marcus agree to meet for dinner and hang up right after. They agree. He and Blair take off for Manhattan. On the jitney, Serena and Dan try to stay away from each other, but hook up in the bathroom and sleep together in the bathroom after she falls into his lap when the bus hits a bump. Meanwhile, Blair finds out that Marcus is playing in dinner with Catherine, his stepmom, and invites herself. When he tells her that it was just gonna be the two of them. Blair sadly says that he'll be missing her biggest party. He asks what party she's having, and she explains that every year that she has a big back to Manhattan party with all of her friends. He agrees to cancel with Catherine and comes to the party. Afterwards, she sends an emergency text to Icon Dorota that they have to quickly plan a party because elsewhere, Blair and Chuck and Nate are riding back to the city again. Chuck confides in him his plan to take Marcus out of the picture for a shot with Blair. Nate's on board with this plan for some odd reason. I don't know why. Like, literally, Nate is on board with. So Nate's on board with this plan. After they talk, Chuck receives a call from someone he'll call when he gets home. Nate tells him that not to let his takedown plan. But Chuck says it's not that. Nate tells him not to let Marcus stop his takedown plan. But Chuck says it's not that. In Brooklyn, Rufus arrives home and tours his art gallery, which Vanessa added a cafe to. Shocked how wonderful it is, and tells her it's a great homecoming present. In Manhattan, Nate walks to his house to find the FBI taking title of the family's possessions. After a brief conversation with an agent, he realizes that the severity of the situation and calls Catherine, wanting to talk to someone. Elsewhere, Chuck and Marcus wrap up their game of squat. Chuck asks Marcus if something is up with him. Marcus admits that he's worried about introducing Blair to Catherine because Catherine hates all of his girlfriends and sending them running away in fear. On the way out, Chuck asks Marcus for his home number, and Marcus gives it to him. At the water, Blair is impressed with Icon Dorota's plans for the party. However, she asks Icon Dorota to remake the guest list, as she's not happy with it. Afterwards, Serena arrives in the penthouse, and Blair explains that she's throwing a party to prove to Marcus that she's worthy of meeting his family. And she asks Serena to invite Dan, as he can talk about soccer. That's all she knows stand for. Soccer. Bro. At the Vanderwoodsons, Nate arrives to see Chuck. However, Chuck sends him away, saying that he's trying to conduct business. He explains that he's selling the Victrola to impress Blair and compete with Marcus. He needs to start right away. Once he's gone, Chuck asks his lawyers if it'll be done soon, since he told Anne they would have it done right away. Oh, that's it. Chuck is trying to pay Nate. Is trying to pay off Nate. Is trying to get Nate money. Chuck's trying to be a good friend here, and help Nate's family. Good on you, Chuck. Season 2 again. This is the season where I started to like you. So yeah, Season 2 is actually making you a likable character. At the law, Dan receives a call from Serena. Dan receives a call from Serena, and he tells her that if they do want to fix their relationship, they need to take some space. She sadly agrees. Then invites him to come to the party, which he agrees to come, and says they can start with the new plan the next day. Back in Brooklyn, Nate goes to see Vanessa wanting to talk about his dad. While they talk, he gets a call from Anne, who tells him not to worry because she was able to finagle a loan from a family friend. However, Nate quickly figures out that Chuck owed him the money, and they hang up. He tells Vanessa that he has to go, but he'll be back later. Meanwhile, Chuck meets with Catherine, who informs him that she's mostly invested in Marcus's well-being, and he prompts her to sit down and hear what he has to say. At Blair's party, it becomes clear pretty quickly that the whole thing is a bust. Blair spots Dan and drags Marcus and Serena to meet him. He introduces them to Marcus. Then they walk off. Serena asks Dan for comment. Then sees an uninvited Chuck entering with Catherine. Blair goes over and Blaine insults Catherine, who then introduces herself as Marcus' stepmother. Yep, Blair literally insults Catherine, being like, "Yeah, what are you doing with a guy like Chuck? What did Chuck have to do to get her to pay her to get her to be there?" And then literally she's like, Blair, the guy you're dating is her stepson." And Blair's like, "Oh crap! She just insulted the woman of the the woman of the son of the person who she's trying to, the mother of the person she's trying to, the stepmother of the person she's trying to date, that she's dating." Back at the gallery, Rufus drops in to find Vanessa playing finishing touches on the cafe. He confides her that Lincoln Hawk might have the opportunity to go on another tour. Surprised, she said she doesn't mind sticking around while he's gone. But he asks if he really wants to leave again so soon. He admits he isn't sure because he really did miss being on the road and playing live. Back at the party, Serena tries to console Blair after humiliation. She goes over to Catherine and tries to apologize. But Catherine is like, yeah, she's no interested. She informs Blair that Marcus will never end up with someone as lowly as Blair. When she's finished, Nate, who has just arrived, comes over. Serena then introduces everyone, and nervous. First, Serena tries to lie and say that Serena then tries to say that she and Catherine know each other at book club, but eventually reveals to everyone that Nate and Blair are exes, and Catherine is Marcus' stepson, obviously blowing Nate's mind and leaving him shocked that his current girlfriend is the stepson of his stepmother of his ex's current boyfriend. It's so confusing. Afterwards, Serena encourages Blair to show Catherine the real her, though Blair without the manipulating tendency, and she'll be fine. Elsewhere, Nate confronts Chuck about loaning the money. Chuck argues for Anne to having told him about everything that was happening to me. He was ready to argues for Anne to have even told him about what was happening to me. It had to have been a really bad situation. Nate angrily said he's going to handle it himself and walks off and runs right into Dan and Serena making out and asks if they're back together. They play off and they get into an elevator to leave and asks Nate if he's coming. At the moment, he gets a text from Catherine telling him to meet her in the library. He goes and she tells her that that's messed up that his ex is dead. He goes and tells her that it's messed up that his ex is dating her stepson. Realizing how messed up it actually is, he tries to end it with her, but she says she knows that the relationship isn't bothering him and asks him to tell her what it really is. At the law, Rufus arrives home and listens to the voicemail from Jenny, telling him that Dan is picking her up at the train station and seeing him at home. He wanders the apartment musing over Jenny's designs and Dan's writing, as well as the family photos. When he's done, he calls the woman organizing the potential tour. Back at the party, Nate has told Catherine everything about his family scandal. She offers to help him out by giving him money in exchange for sleeping with her and keeping the relationship. Meanwhile, Blair is looking for Catherine and finds out from the icon that is Dorota, that she's in the library. She enters to find Nate and Catherine and Nate in a very awkward, finds them sleeping together, finds them doing the dirty on the flirty. Doing the dirty on the flirty. Of course, she's appalled by this, and they stop. Nate leaves the room, and Blair asks for a moment with Catherine and tells her that she can see right through her, so she better find a way to accept her. She continues to say that she needs to understand that she and Marcus have real feelings for each other. At the same time, Marcus enters and says that he was living with Catherine. I like how they both say darling to him at the same time. Like, literally, that's so good. They say darling when he enters. They say darling at the same time. It's amazing. I wonder how many takes it took to get that actually right. However, he was looking for Catherine to damage control before she got to Blair. However, Catherine plays along with Blair's tactic, Blair's musings, and tells Catherine that she thinks Blair is great, and Marcus is surprised that she's loved, improves, and leaves with Blair. At the loft, Danny and Jane arrive home to find Rufus finishing dinner. They all greet each other and sit down to eat dinner. He tells them that he's planning to work on a short story into a novel. He tells them about his road trip as they listen to Dan and Jane talk. He realizes they made their decision not to go on tour again, and that the Vanderwoods and Serena and Blair are having a sleepover. Blair asks Serena that she was herself around Catherine. Yeah, she wasn't. She literally manipulated her into. Blair literally manipulated Catherine into being okay with the relationship, because that's who Blair is. There is no normal Blair Waldorf. There will always be the manipulative psychopath, the manipulative person that we love in the show. Serena, you were wrong. Tell Blair to be her regular self, because there is no regular person for Blair Waldorf. And she likes her net. They run to Chuck in the kitchen, and Blair asks for a second alone with him. Serena leaves, and Blair fills him in on winning Catherine over, and he informs him that his plan backfired. They say goodnight to each other. At the gallery, Vanessa gets a call from Nate, who apologizes for not coming to the gallery at all. When they hang up, it's revealed that Vanessa decorated the whole place for a date and ordered Chinese for her and Nate. Meanwhile, Catherine gets into the car and hands Nate an envelope of cash as they take off into the night, ending the episode. Wow, really good episode. The second episode may have been better than the first season. Like, we got more into the front of Howard of the Howard storyline. Now. Everyone except for Vanessa now knows about Catherine Nate's, and Blair manipulated Catherine, because as I said before, there is no normal Blair. Blair is not a normal person. She'll just continue to manipulate people. That's who she is. Blair Waldorf is a manipulative person. Serena shouldn't have told Blair to be a normal person, because that's not who Blair Waldorf is. Blair Waldorf is a manipulative person who loves playing mind games with Chuck. She's not normal. Serena, you gave Blair false advice. And Blair, realizing this, decided to manipulate Catherine anyway and just lie to your face about pretending to be her normal self. Because again, Blair Waldorf is not normal. She's not normal than any of us. She's a manipulative person. But that's why we love Blair. Because she's a manipulative person. But next we got Season 2, Episode 4, X-Files. Wonder what's going to happen? And I'll see you... Wait, no, Episode 3. No, we got X-Files. We got The Dark Knight. I'll think of Episode 4. We got Episode 3, The Dark Knight, which is obviously a reference to The Dark Knight. After that, we got The X-Files. But right now, we got The Dark Knight. When it's gonna happen, and why would they name an episode after a Batman movie? Who knows? But still, I'll see you next time. Remember, you love me, XOXO, Gossip Girl.